Hello, everybody. A very good evening. Lovely to have your company. Anticipated hour, as always, whenever you have a launch of a brand new one-day special. But doubly for me, because I'm with the maestro herself. It is the lovely lady. It's lovely Lou that's going to take us through.
Oh, wait. Lovely Millie.
We'll try and put it all right when it comes to you, Lou. How are you, lovely?
I'm good. I really love this. And you all know I love this. I love this.
Now, listen, we were talking about this earlier on in the sort of the pre-show meeting about this, and you said there's already a lot of interest.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about in European countries as well about this specifically.
Yes.
In a nutshell, I know we got it says grunge on this one, but in a nutshell, because this is a huge collection, everybody. Let's make that point really clear. It is a massive collection of all the parts you're going to get in this. In fact, just for that, we've got the cameras 2.5 miles away just to get that wide shot in, everybody, which is amazing. 46 stamps in here, 4 stencils, 17 dies, and you can get that for your first flexi of just £29.05. And if you're not a Freedom member yet, it's £96.84. So if you become a Freedom member, actually, you're actually saving money rather than paying that price. And then you got, of course, unlimited P&P for the rest of said month. Right, Lou, you know where I hold you, the highest esteem possible when it comes down to your demonstrations, the way you talk so passionately, your background as a teacher with it. So you are the person to ask about this. Talk to us about what this complete set is going to allow me as a complete novice or someone as advanced as you with their skills. Where can we go with this?
Well, first of all, you've got to have everything in this. You've got to like something for everyone.
Yes.
So you want to do watercolour, you want to do acrylics, you can do decoupage, you can do three-dimensional work, you can do all those things. But there again, that's just like the diving board for you. The rest of the way, you do your own thing. So you can make it as easy or as difficult as you want. Because each of them fits together. You can have all of them as they are, or just cut all of them out separately.
Right. Wow. I mean, there's a huge amount. Well, let's break it down in parts on this one. Let's start off with the dies, everybody. And I'm really interested about these because there's elements in here I'm going, how do I work? What would I do with those? Because there's huge amounts.
These, I've not seen these before anywhere. I've not seen similar ones, and I absolutely adore these because they all mix and match. You've got raggedy. That's not the name because they give them numbers. It's like a ragged edged
on the
shape
tag
of
side
a
of things.
Tag, yeah. You've got the little bits that go on and the reinforcers, but you've got layers. So you've got the back and the layer that goes on the top. Plus, you've also got the tag shape. You've got so many.
Yeah.
They're just absolutely brilliant.
So these are all the parts that you can see here coming through.
And the thing is, with Studio Light, I'm a bit stuck for words, which is really difficult for me, isn't it? But a bit stuck for words because it's really hard to say all the things I'm trying to say to you. But for instance, they pack dies onto their sheets, whereas some you might get a die set and it looks like you've got loads, but these, you forget how many individual layers there are.
Right.
And all those fit with all the other grunges that we've had. The circle die there fits with the swirl on the stamps, and then it fits on onto the stencil.
I love that. So again, these are all meant to work together perfectly as well.
And that's the waist, and you've got the inner and outer there, but you've also got that in stamp version, and you've also got it in that. But you can make your own clipboards. There's one, the black one in the middle, that makes a smashing just card on its own, folded in half.
Oh, right, yeah, OK, yes.
So you don't even need, and you can do the rest with them. If you want to layer them all up, all you need to do is just fold it in half.
Do you know what? This is absolutely fantastic.
I'm not surprised. If this doesn't fly out, I will be...
Well, so give you an update. We are 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the show. We're approaching 20% of the stock already.
Right.
It's a big stock as well, isn't it?
This suits anybody and everybody. You've got your male, you've got, well, no, that's wrong. A masculine, a feminine, and then you've got, you know, non-gender gender specific. You've got everything here. Yeah.
There is a lot. I just want to say before I forget as well, because of what happens to me, everything is dispatched from the 20th of November. OK, so it's only 8 days to wait. So if you're really keen, if that's already a long enough wait, make sure you get it right now as you possibly can. I just before we come on to those, I just wanted to show you with the finished, just what that edge. what a lovely effect it has on it. I don't know whether it makes it even bolder or stronger
well,
with
one
it.
of the
It's
things
just...
is we can try and cut this out, but it never looks right. But when you cut with a die, you get a bevel edge on it, so it always looks neat and tidy.
Right.
But the fact that you can make these to fit in your journals, to fit in your planners,
Yeah.
they all fit in within all the other ranges. And I will be doing some extra lessons on these as well. So if people do sort of like after the show, and even after this, I will be going on with Facebook Lives on this as well.
Oh, brilliant. I just think
they
that
won't
people
get lost. You won't get lost.
No, no. And I think that, because sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming because there's so much in there.
Absolutely.
I promise you, Lou is the person to be with on not just, of course, this show, back again at 8 o'clock as well, taking you through tomorrow. So you're going to get loads of inspiration. But so that's why I'm asking you, please, even if you're planning on watching 8 o'clock and tomorrow and all the shows right the way through till final call, if it lasts that long, if we got stopped for it, you're going to get loads of inspiration by fantastic Lou. So we've talked about the actual dies to work with. Let's look at the masks that we've got. I know you just touched on those, Lou.
Wow.
Talk to us about, if people haven't worked with masks as well before, where are we with these?
Right, these are workhorses. So by a workhorse, I mean that they're going to be... You can use them for everything. They fit so many. You can fit your doodle lines in them. You can fit sort of caricatures. You could do, like, Marvel figures. Sorry, there's other people. You could do beautiful watercolour effects. There's so many different things. And you only look at it, you think, oh, that looks like a firework. That looks like a lollipop. That looks... I think when you look at it, you see what you get, your ideas start to flow with it.
Yes.
And there's one there that I did with some doodle lines, and it's the two in the middle I did on a doodle page.
Oh, OK.
And it looked so different, because you think, you can't doodle that, but actually...
Oh, it did.
It looked amazing. It started to look like really beautiful flowers.
But they are like... So we can work with these as backgrounds then?
Absolutely.
Or as well as...
I'm going to show you how to use them in the background and the foreground. I'm going to use them with a stencil to create a background and a foreground.
So that's that one there,
Yep.
you just seen on
use them all.
example.
You can use, and don't forget, people think you've got to use a stencil as is. Don't.
No.
Because if you see a pattern in a stencil and you keep to that pattern and then change your stencil around, you create your own pattern.
Ah, right, OK,
So
yeah.
you know, don't think of it as a one-trick pony. That can be many different things.
Got you.
It's like the pattern there. I can see the one where the circles are coming inside. So third one, the circles are coming into the middle. But I was talking to someone else and they saw it where the circles were coming out of the middle. So it's what your eye's drawn to.
Got you. Yeah, it is, isn't it? How you see things in different ways. That's a bit like the image. Is it the vase, but it's actually two faces?
Yeah, and
when you sort of look at.
And it all depends on whether you're a logical or you're a visual learner and logical learner and stuff like that.
The brain is an amazing thing.
It is. It's really clever.
So we've looked at your dies to work out on them, which are fantastic. Then you got your masks, but of course, don't forget in here you got stamps, not 2 or 3, 46. That's a lot of stamps in the collection for you.
It covers everything.
Well, let's just to help our director work through, because we could be all over. There's so many stamps in there. Let our director choose. We're looking. He's zoomed in. He's right. He's aimed. He's fired. Everybody.
Absolutely.
We've got these 4 to look at to start with. Just talk to them because they are. I mean, from the girl in there, we've got floral in there. This is everything, isn't it?
It is. And if you go to see the studio, like Facebook group we've got, you'll see Rachel's done, and she's got the copy here. She's done what they call a kiss stamp.
Oh, right.
Where she stamped onto a gel plate and she's made a mirror opposite of it. So she's got 2 girls. So, and then we've got that one, that second one we just passed, almost looks like a poinsettia. So you could look...
Oh, yeah, it does.
It does look like a Christmas. You know, you could make that in that red, you could make it Christmas. I think... That one there, she's made a kiss stamp with it, and she's made the 2 facing each other. So it's really clever. So not just here, but all the different places that you can go with studio, like you'll see lots of inspiration. But these are collage stamps.
Right, collage stamps.
And these are the smaller ones.
Am I bringing some of the? Can I bring in that one as well then and show just to talk about these, because you have got something. Because when you think grunge, you don't necessarily think floral.
No. Well, and that's what the problem is. People have it might have an idea or, you know, something in the head that puts them off. Whereas when you see these, there's not much grunge about them. It's just the idea that they have to call it a range.
Yes.
And the flowers are lovely.
They are beautiful. Oh, I mean, talk about this. But when you see in this kind of background, you do get the feeling of that.
Yeah, you do.
That you look at that and you think, wow, there's a lot going on there.
The clipboard and the clip itself and all the other items are from the dies, so you can make that. if you've got an offcut of old card, then you can just layer the card up on top of it and make it look really neat.
There are huge amounts. So now we're on to another section of the stamps. Don't forget, you are getting 46 stamps, 4 stencils, 17 dies. So now we're working through these, as you can see, which again, but they are beautiful. So, you've got stamps for a lifetime here, haven't you?
Well, you have, and each one of them, don't just think it's only that width. Selective stamping means you can take it off the mount and just stamp areas, and you can extend it to as big as you want.
Right, right.
So, you know, like this here, using the stamps that we've got, worker stamps, and the stamps themselves, you've got endless possibilities. And I just love the idea that everybody sees different things, and the die cuts fit with the images and the stamps, and then the stamps fit with the stencils. It is a complete collection.
And as we're seeing there on that stamp that's putting out, you know, these are big size. I mean, if you just worked on that little floral section that you saw there in here, that's a big part of a card there, straight or anything, isn't it?
And you think you could just cut out that. You don't have to stamp the whole thing. You just cut out the flowers, and you could do a range of them, and you would not even dream it has come from a grunge range. It's not. It's selective. You know, once you get past the idea of just stamping everything, you can select items and then make your own.
Honestly, there are so much. And there's something else I want to talk to Lou about, you know, with regards to inspiration, and this is the perfect collection to do that with. Now, just remind you again, it is the launch of this complete collection that you're seeing here, which is fantastic. From Studio Light, as you'd expect, they know their stuff. So here now we are 11 minutes into the launch, and a quarter of the stock, and it's a big stock, a quarter of the stock has now already been allocated within under 12 minutes, which is phenomenal. You are getting 46 stamps, 4 stencils we talked about, 17 dies. You can get this home right now for as little, if you wanted to, for £29.05 on your first of your 3 payments. It has a one-day special saving of £19.68. Now, if you're a Freedom member, phenomenal opportunity for you here to go for this, because the saving is huge that you can go for. Now, it is, in fact, if you're not, then why not go for it? Because actually, if you were to go for this, and you're going to go for this and become a Freedom member, it still works out at a lower price point than what you would be paying for the regular price on this one. And plus, you'll have then a whole month of course, your unlimited postage and packaging and all the other perks that come with that. And you can stop it after a month if you so wish, but I think you'll probably want to stay with all the deals you can get. Now, 235633 is your item code. Now, you don't have to go for the complete collection. We've got other options for you as well, with a lovely bundle if you wanted to. Now, do take note that all these elements that you're about to see for these, by the way, have their own individual savings for these, and those savings are within the bundle, and they're being carried over into the complete bundle collection for you. So if you're going to go for the bundle, you are getting those huge savings carried on across. If you wanted to, of course, for here, you can do on this one. This is 128057. This is going to give you the beautiful floral flash. That's 4 sets of stamps. You're going to get those 2 stencils you can see there. You can go for that as an option if you wanted to. The other option you got for here was your blooming beets. That's your 4 stamps, and again, your 2 stencils. You're looking at just under £10 saving. Don't forget, these savings are carrying on over into the huge bundle, so you could go for these if you wanted to individually, but if you want to go for everything, that's where you're getting big savings all the way through. If you want to go for your backgrounds and your borders, you can. You got your 2 stamps on these ones. That's going to give you 38 stamps in total, and that's for £14.98. 867378. If you like the clipboard designs that we looked at there with those, then you can go for these die sets, 17 in collection. That's 2848 053 498. Now, in total, you're looking at £33 worth of savings if you go for your one-day special rather than buying all of those individual elements. Plus, on top of that, you're going to get a further £10 saving. But if you're a Freedom member, you'll be getting a further £19 saving for down to 87.16. That includes your postage and packaging. But if you want to get this home right away, we're looking at dispatch from the 20th of November. Your first of your flexi payments is just £29.05. 235633. It's busy. 30% of the stock has already gone, and you can understand why. Now, if you are just starting out and you want hints and tips, don't listen to me anymore. Lou, where do we start on this? I love your demonstrations anyway, but you've got freedom to do with what you want on this.
Absolutely. And I was just messing, and I made a mess as always. But then I was looking at, you've got some great little stamps in there that are workhorses to me, and these just fit. These fit everything in the other stamps that you've got.
Yeah.
So there'll be like these circles, and these all match the die cuts. These little textures match elements of the stamps. So
right.
if you want to extend it, you can. Right. First thing I wanted to do was I wanted to die cut these and just show you how well they die cut. So I wanted to do the first. I was thinking all sorts, and then I've got about 10 things planned, and then I decided on different ones, so you'll have to bear with me.
Is it overwhelming when you've got something here, because you've got so many elements? I mean, the good thing is you've got a whole day to play.
Yeah, that's it.
That's nice.
it. The thing is, though, I just want to do so much, but then I trying to pack it in too much, and I'm like, oh, why did I do that? So you've got to be careful. I've got to be careful that I don't over. It's like putting too many feathers on something. I tend to do that. So anyway, what I did was I've got the die cut, and I've got the layered die, which is like to me it's like a notebook.
Yes, it is, yeah.
It'd make a great calendar, this.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
You know, with a little calendar there.
Yeah.
And even an advent calendar. You could have a little box on it that you could rip the day off or save the invitation or whatever it's called.
That's a nice. Oh, yes.
So I've got a couple there that I've cut out. I've not cut out the smaller one yet, but I wanted to cut this one out to show you that this one, which is one of the dies, actually cuts into. And I just thought, if you're, say, new to this and you don't really know what to do with it, all you need is a colour of your choice behind it, and it already looks like you've painted and stamped it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so if you just want to leave something like that and then put layers on it. Now, I'm just going to show you really quick. I'm not doing it like this, just want to show you.
Yeah.
This is just the die cuts, and I've got a card made.
So,
but it's only 2 die cuts that I've cut into a piece of card, and these are the colours, and I've cut out 2, and I could put
Simple.
a bit of blue in that, and I've got a card done.
Right.
So, I mean, if you don't want that on, you don't have to have it. But the sentiments and everything on here, so don't just look at these as what they are like that.
No.
But I might use this ripped out. So what I've done is I decided, this was a spare bit of paper in the packaging. I thought, oh, I'm having that, right? Because I am like that. I am very much like that.
I don't think you're alone in that.
Oh, no. You see a bit of packaging, and we're the only people that, I go skip diving just to get stuff out, man.
That should be a sport.
I think I'd win it.
You would?
I would. Right, so I've die cut. Let me show you what I've die cut. The Chris cut, not cot. There. So that's like crisscross, but it comes in a die form and a stamp form, so you've got it in either or. And I've done it in white as well. And I've done the circle. Now, the circle is brilliant because you've got the positive and negative. So if you don't want that whole die, you've got the inside. You can use that.
Ah, yeah, got you.
And then this one, you can use, this is quite nice, because you take these out, all these little elements, and you've got that. But then, if I just wanted to put 3 little elements down here, I just take the insides out and lay them, and I've got another, just endless. So I've done that. So
I'd recommend for people to get a bag that they're going to get all their cuts.
Yes.
And because you're going to find use for them, aren't you, in all of these,
absolutely.
from what I'm learning?
Well, what I do is, Marlene's got some great, with the sketchbooks from Studio Light, and they have a poly bag in the front.
Right.
And I've got mine in there, and literally...
It's already full.
Yeah, because I'll cut too many, but I never know what I want.
No.
So, anyway, so I've chosen this colour, because I love this colour. It's nice. Like I said, this great wibbly wobbly edge, right? That looks great. Oh, I can cut that with a pair. No. Try it, honestly, try it. More often than not, it's like your mum cutting your fringe, shorter and shorter.
It's been a while.
Well, oh, sorry, yeah.
I'll tell you what, she did a good job on mine.
You know, when you think, what have I said that for?
You're allowed to. You can say what you want. You
what a banana.
You can say anything you want.
I'm a numpty.
Oh, you know I'm joking.
Oh, well, do you know what? I don't mean it like that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, you haven't got much of a fringe.
Anyway, moving on. Got a third of the stock, by the way. A third of the stock.
Moving on.
Third of the start. 20 minutes in and the third's already gone.
Oh, do you know I'm like that now? Right, so what I've done is I'm going to use this as a bit of a stencil and I'm going to use it with some white paint. Now, you can use gesso if you want. You can use anything you got, but what I'm going to do is create sort of something like a little resist. I did a Facebook Live yesterday and I was trying to explain to people that white gesso is very different to white paint because gesso is sort of like a foundation for other media to go on,
right?
And paint, acrylic paint, is like a coverage. It's got a plasticity in it, so a plasticizer in it. So when you do that, it doesn't like things to stick to it. So if you want different effects, try using white paint instead of gesso. Now you think,
right.
what on earth are you putting white paint on that for when you can't see it? That's because I'm going to try and give you an idea of resist. Bear in mind, this is the die cut. I've done it upside down, round the corners. You can change it, can do it that way. So it'll start to dry and you'll see just the element drying on the top. Now, if you don't put too much on, it'll dry really quick. So what you can do is if you do want to, and while you're you've got your white on now, I don't want to do all of it. I just want to give it a little bit of what we'd call sort of, knock the colour back so that it's not too prominent.
Okay, right, yeah.
I've got the die cuts that I've got here, and you can just add little bits of sponging. And I remember in the 80s doing all this on the walls. I was rented out for sponging on walls. Mind you...
Sorry, don't say that phrase and move on. So just say that again. You're rented out for
sponging
on walls.
Yeah, because where I'm from, we're used to sponging because, you know, Shameless?
Yeah.
I'm from that, that's my council estate. Seriously.
The actual what?
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah. And so we're used to sponging.
Is that...
Yeah, Manchester.
So explain more of the sponging then.
Sponging. Don't you know what sponging means? Is sponging off the state and all that.
Oh. I thought it was bath time activities. I didn't know what was going on.
We were laughing because they said I'm used to more than one type of sponging. But anyway.
You led me astray there with you doing a technique and then beyond that,
I threw it in, I threw it curveball.
I want you quick.
So I've took the edge off those, I'm just going to do the same with this now. Not a lot, I don't want to do too much. I just want to say, if you haven't got the right colour card, this is one way of getting the right colour card. So I'm just doing, I'm using, this is a natural sponge. It's ethically sourced. So I've, nothing dodgy.
Yeah.
And I'm just going round the edge because I want to sort of create continuity. Now, you might think, well, what does that look? And I'll just show you what I mean now because it creates interest. You can do it with all sorts of different medias, but I'll just show you. It just creates a tiny bit of interest.
I can see that on the angle. You see the difference in the white.
I'll just show it. Put that on there. Can you see it?
Yes,
It does create...
Breaking it up.
Yeah, and it does. And you can put that on any colour you choose then. So I've got that. You can see that's just about dry now. But don't forget, I made my own stencil with that. So I'm going to pick... I see I've got all these. I'm like that. Oh, what do I pick now? I'm going to pick this again and the stencil. So I've got my stencils. Now, I've just discovered... Pearly Winks. These, right.
Oh, what are they?
Aged pearly winks, vintage winks. Vintage winks, bit like me, that vintage wink. And they're absolutely amazing. So I did these on a Facebook Live, but I can highly recommend them. So just to show you how you can create work using your sprays, your dyes, your paints. So I'm using now the... it's like not Harley, a diamond shape, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's not the same as the one I did before, but it's got a similar feel to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put that on top using the other side. Now, these sprays are brilliant because they're not too heavy. They lay out wonderfully, but they're not that bright that the minute you put them on, you're like, oh.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And they look quite dark when you do them at first, but when you leave them to dry, they just go beautiful. Yeah. They go really beautiful. And I'm just going to put a few... And they do dry a lot softer. They don't dry as dark as you think. And what I'm going to do is, and it won't look like, why is she doing that? Well, I'm going to create more interest by adding this. Now, this will be more like what we call a watermark, which is when one colour is on top of the same colour, you'll get a registration of like a watermark where it's just visible.
Right.
So you can see it's started to dry. You're getting a softer look on there. So we've got that on there and that on there. Perfect, that's good. But what I want to do now is create even more interest, so I'm going to bring in some other colours. So I've got all these, oh, don't start me with these stamps. Oh. So I'm there and I'm thinking, right, which stamps am I going to use? And I really like this flowery one because I think it's got so much, well, they've all got potential. But I just think if I'm trying to sort of show people that grunge doesn't necessarily mean grungy, then I can show them how to use this and make a really nice sort of elegant floral card, you know, and rather than them thinking, oh, grunge, I'm not into that.
Are we okay just before you stamp?
Yeah.
Just to pause for 1 second,
Yeah,
give everyone a bit of an update.
Absolutely.
And just there's a few things that people are going for as well down the counter
No,
that
please
we just
do.
need to just introduce,
Yeah.
and then we're going to come straight. We're not going to miss anything.
No, won't do
I promise
out.
you, we're going to
Yeah,
come straight back to our teacher and take us through. So, just want to let you know, now we are with stock. Over a third of the stock launched 25 minutes ago only. Again, just to recap, 46 stamps, 4 stencils, 17 dies, and yes, you can get this for as little as now. First of your 3 payments of just £29.05. Now, if you're a Freedom member for those offers, you're getting that £19.68 special saving on that. Now, if you're not a Freedom member, I promise you, it's a why not deal. If you were to go for the normal price, you'd be paying more than if you were to become a Freedom member, even paying for your subscription for that for the month. You're still saving it, getting that for £87.16. That includes your P&P, of course, in there. You're getting that saving of just shy of £20, plus you're going to get all the other perks and benefits of being a Freedom member for the rest of the month. And that is less for all of that than actually going for the regular price on that bundle. So do it. I promise you, you won't look back on that. It's the best way of getting those savings. It's one of the, you know, those people that are on TV and they do those money programs and tell you where you can get a workout. You know, that's that deal there. That's that. He would be, if he was standing here, you know the one, yeah, him. If he was standing here, he'd say, go for that. It saves more money in the long term. Right, Martin Lewis. So if you, and other people are available doing that, but yeah, you know, I like Martin. Right, deals that people are already also adding into their baskets, and that's one we haven't even shown you these yet, but please go for it right now, and I'm sure that we'll ask Lou to chat about these as we go on a bit later on to add in, but you can see how these are going to mirror up and are going to work. So you're going to get the rings, and you're also going to get the mesh to work with this. Now, the rings one on this one is a lovely one that goes with the die that's actually in the collection already. I can see why people are collecting these. And
you can stamp inside those rings with the stamp circles we've got. So all of them stamp, you can stamp, build them up, stamp.
Right.
And you can make them all into cogs as well.
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
So these circles, you could place cogs in them and have them really sort of steampunk-y.
I could see, and people have already, I think, jumped to that conclusion with regards to working these.
This is one that we've seen previously, and it was always a popular one, but not in the fact that you could get it on its own, so I can understand people trying to get that.
Great opportunity for this one, and the mesh. I really like that, it's very cool. I don't think you can say cool, cool's not cool, is it? Sorry about that, I'm a dad. £4 saving, £15.98, 614144. If that introduces that to you for the first time, pop that into your basket, proving very, very popular already as well. The next set I've got for you, again, this is proving to be really, really busy already. And again, we're just showing it to a lot of people right now. These are your 2 stamps. You've got Rock Pool, which I think is lovely. Anything with a seahorse, I'm hooked. And then you've also got your Floral Rhythm that's in here. Again, £4 saving, £15.98. You can see how that's going to complement the florals that you've already got as part of the one day, of course. But I love that. It's like a little amylite shell that you got in there as well, beautiful, with the seahorse. Sounds like a giant poppy in the background, that one,
well,
but you've got that with the sea.
That's a coral, and it's wonderful, and you've got to be careful that you don't buy them unless they're actually, it says, resourced properly.
Yeah, of
because
course.
they're wonderful. They look like the underneath of a mushroom.
I know the one with all the fine little moments.
They're beautiful.
That's lovely. I love it. Anything, again, with a note especially a crotchet. If you're going for the musical parts of that, beautiful work there as well with the bird in nature. That is lovely. 551 985 1598 if you were going. And by the way, let me just show you, because I've got them actually here, so I want to show you the size of those stamps. And I think it's really worth noting that they are big stamps rather than you're looking at the packaging.
Is that 15 quid for the 2 of them, serious?
That's for 2. That's for both.
Wow.
That's great, isn't it? And they're big, they're big. I mean, look at the size of the seahorse there.
That's A4 size, that, top to bottom, not width, but A4 size.
Yeah. Oh, OK, A4 size in working with those.
2 of them would be an A4 sheet.
That's the largest seahorse stamp I've seen. You know, normally you just get a lot of smaller ones, but that is beautiful, that. I think that, yeah, that is gorgeous. 20% of the stock there already gone. I will show you the size of the stamps coming on the next set in comparison. You're getting a lot of detail on here as well, but they are beautiful, these ones. These are gorgeous. This is No Regrets and Ocean Vibes. Yeah, man. 1448. See, I told you I can't do cool.
You do. You're a top.
I'm saying
top
cool,
geezer.
I'm going, yeah, man, and I think that's good.
You see what I mean? You've got
1976 has just got back to me and said, can we have a vocabulary back?
Bazzing. Bazzing. That's bazzing.
I love it. 338 407 1448. Let me show you. Take me to the ocean. What a ship.
Ooh.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I tell you, I mean, they'd be so cool, that. But if you're looking for those cards that are always difficult for men or anything, or anybody that likes the ocean, elements of that look so great, especially on a candle.
Oh, yes.
Because it'll wrap round, and you could even sort of cut that out and put that in a bottle, you know, and
you could.
Little things like that, you know. It's just look at them as a collage, but then look at all the individual bits and bobs in them. It's clever.
I really love that. You know, I was listening to the radio on the way down this morning. They were talking about people's favourite sounds, and you know the one that kept on coming up more than anything? First one was actually ice into a glass before you pour something onto it. That was the first one. Second one is waves, and so there was a lady talking about she's been helping pick up all the rubbish down by the Thames, etc. now during lockdown and things like that. She said, but it's one of the most relaxing things, again, is that ocean feel, nautical kind of feel, just the waves crashing up on that. But I think you're right, there's a very relaxing feel about that.
You know what I listen to at night? You know, sometimes you can get it on that woman, you can shout a name. And it's
oh, yes.
Rain on a roof. On a tin roof, like on a caravan.
Just to relax and to fall asleep.
Yeah, it's so relaxing. So it's the same. It's that idea of motion, isn't it?
Do you know what Fee likes to listen to that sends her to sleep?
Go on.
Me. Apparently, she'll drop off instantly. Right, we've also got here from all your backgrounds. These are lovely.
Get them.
Tell me why.
They are your workhorses. They fit all the dies, all the stencils, all the everything. They're never off my desk. I love them. I look at that, £7 each.
Yeah. 216 433. In total, 14.
Right, so that is just over £1.
Pound? Yep, basically pound an image. To go with, but you're going to use. Listen to what Lou has to say.
Honestly,
about that one.
they're brilliant.
Get them is the quote. Honestly, and I'm not going to argue with Lou.
No, promise you.
216 433 1448. Right, moving down, because we want to get straight back to see those stamping, don't we, as well, from lovely Lou. So we've got the set of the dies for you here, for your journaling die sets here. You've got number 298, 299, 300 and 301. So that will give you 21 dies in total. If anyone shouted out house, well done. This is available in your Flexi Buy as well, £4 saving, 2 payments of £19.98. Apparently there's a line in the gallery. 920465. That's a first. Right, if you would like to go for all of those, please do so. Pop those in your basket. One final set to bring to you here that we've got here. These are your frame and your fold collections. Actually, big saving on this. £15 saving. That's bringing these down today for just £10.98 rather than £26. Give a few pence. 294240. These are your ornate options you can go for, or you can have regal if you wanted to. Again, we're looking at all of those dispatched from the 20th of November. The year is flying, and so is the stock. So please make sure you don't miss out. It's a really busy show. But you always bring a very busy show to us, always.
I'm really privileged to be able to do studio light, but I'm really, really privileged the fact that I like them. And I am so transparent that if I didn't like them, it'd probably be very evident. But I do love them, and I guess I'm very excited about using them because I like stuff when you can work it all together, and I'm going to get my money's worth.
Absolutely.
Because we need to be able to do that.
Go with them.
And we need to sort of say, well, am I going to use them more than once?
Oh, people are going to use these a lot, aren't they? Yeah.
And they're going to use them, bits of them, all of them, and all your other stuff. Because I keep saying we must get our other stuff out, always. Because don't leave it in cupboard. Just get it out and use it with them. Yeah.
Get playing.
Right, well, just to show you something quickly, I won't bore the life out of you, but...
You never do that.
Well, on this stamp... Oh, thank you. Don't ask me over half, though. On this stamp, you'll see there's little bubbles here. Now, just to show you what I mean about the stamps, that the stamps all match because those bubbles are then replicated
I got you.
in here.
Yeah.
And you'll see I could pick up another, we'll pick up something else here. And you can see, right, OK. So we've got this mesh feel here, which is, again, replicated in, there's some more mesh in here, there.
Oh, yes, there it is.
So what you can do is extend that out. Now, you've got the ammonites there as well, but what you can do is you can actually, when they're all the same size that you're using, the die and the stamp and the stencil are all the same, you can't get any depth in your work.
Okay.
Because you need different sizes to create depth.
Right.
So the further away something is, the smaller it is, the nearer it is, the bigger it is. So if you want to create that in your work, then if they're all the same size, it's really difficult.
Can't do it. Yeah, difficult.
So if you've got a stamp that's really big, you know, in the front, and then die cuts behind it and stuff, it really works.
Yeah,
you're building up the picture.
Yeah.
Right.
40% now of the one-day special has now been allocated, and we are 36 minutes into a whole... Well, you've got another live hour at 8. You've got then all your live shows tomorrow before final call at 4. So grab it. It's going very... That's why I say if we ever got all those shows tomorrow, maybe come.
I really, a lovely friend of mine sat in here, and she'll say the same. Julia's there.
Yeah, we've got Julia next.
Yeah,
so
Julia. Absolutely. I think the world of Julia, and she knows me, and we wouldn't put our name to something or tell you because it's not fair. It's hard-earned money. Yeah. And you've got to be honest with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you won't put your name and say you won't regret it. No. Unless you really won't.
No.
Because you've lost your integrity if you do that.
People trust both you and Julia, and of course, you know, we have people on the show because you know and you work with them and you get it, and people value your opinions with all those.
You've got to be honest. Rather than say anything bad, you just don't say anything at all. But when it's good, you need to let people know because I can see so many different uses for this. I can see it in my polymer clay. I can see it in all sorts of different areas, like some gilding on there and all these little bits, and I can just see so many different things. I've stamped it and I've used like an aqua colour, so I've got this lovely sort of aqua colour in the background. I don't want it to be overpowering. No. I want it to be part of it. I want it to sort of be not one bit sort of overtaking. So what I am going to do though is I'm just going to take the areas that I think that works with this. So I'm looking at the bubbles which I've just put. She does it. Oh, here it is. Bubbles. So I've taken the bubbles. Now I've got that. I've got a secret weapon here. A secret weapon.
Go on. I want to know now.
It looks like it's just a page, but it's a page of... I'm going to do a couple more on it while I've got it out. Not all over, just bits and bobs. It's a page of labels.
And page of labels?
Yeah, because what I'm going to do when I do all my painting, which I'll do some and show you, that when I peel these off, I'll have all my own handmade labels, which I'll show you later.
Oh,
so
nice.
When you're using all these, get all these, you can make your Christmas gifts with them. Bah, humbug. You can make all your Christmas sort of stuff, so don't just think of it as being one. All your clean-up papers, great for that. So I'm using the same colour. I'm just going to put the extra ones from... These are the ones, honestly, you won't regret these. And all I'm going to do is just put these off the edge, just to give them a little bit more. And see, it's now bringing it out. It's like Murky Manor, isn't it? You remember that hand? That hand used to come up like that.
thought it was my hip for a second.
Yeah, that was Anyway, so I'm just... I know I have to rock myself to get out of the bed in the morning, get myself poised. 1, 2... Oh, let me tell you a story. Can I tell him? Can I tell him? Right, I went shopping the other day, but only for necessity, and it wasn't toilet rolls, because I've already got them in. And I forgot my mask.
Oh, yeah, do tell this story.
I forgot my mask, right? I forgot my mask. And I had, like, a top that was shorter here and longer here. So I went to my car and I turned my top round. So it meant, I can't show you now because I'll show you my belly so that I could do that and go in the shop. So I went in the shop with my shirt over my nose and I did look rather I did look a woman.
It looked great from the back.
But yeah, I looked like when
Was it drafty?
It was more. Oh. I tell you what, I'm really surprised I didn't get arrested. But yeah, it was like all you could see was like big pants like that. Then there was a little gap there, and it was like my back and all the muffin tops or whatever you call them there. And then like my top over my nose like that.
It's funny a second time.
But I can't. You can't make that up.
No, you can't. Oh, one of them got someone's... What shop was it? If they got some security cameras going, they like that on film.
Well, it had a red light on the outside. No, I mean to go in. I don't mean a dodgy red light.
Stop
it had
digging.
a red light that you've got to go in and out. You can go in on the green, but you can't. And I thought, sack it, it was red, I'm going in. I'm not hanging around with this thing on my back.
No, windy.
It was dangerous, that. But
wow.
yeah, anyway, I got to in front of the queue rather quick, I don't know why. I can't make it up. Honestly, I can't make it up.
Oh.
But anyway, right, so let me get on with this now. Come on.
Mate, that's brilliant.
So, yeah, it was rather...
weepy eye.
I just thought I was dead pleased with myself for being so...
Did he get lots of attention? No,
they probably thought...
You forgot your mask as well today, here, Nate.
They probably thought, oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Because if you go on Facebook, there are lots of people out there.
Can you hear Julia laughing as well? Julia's laughing. She's rolled up over there. Loving it.
And that's true. There's people on Facebook, right, and they're having arguments about, you know, like whether it's the sun's out or not. They're crazy. So they weren't going to argue with this really strangely dressed person with no mask on. Someone's going to come up to me and go like, get your mask on. I've got it on. Anyway, I've got a little bit of orange paint, and because I'm using the opposite... Now, just calm down, sorry. I've used, like, this turquoisey colour, so I'm using orange just to bring it... And all I'm going to do is give it a flash of colour, so just put a little tiny bit...
Don't give any more flashes.
Oh, no, well...
No, it's not enough for your flashes.
Even my other half don't know about that one.
Claire just emailed in, by the way, sent a message. I think it was an email. Claire just said she's laughed so much she's bought the whole collection there. Perhaps she fell onto the buy now option. Yeah, that is...
I've got some terrible stories.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Claire, for getting in touch.
I do wonder sometimes, is it just, you know, somebody saying, why me? Why me? Why does it happen to me? And then I think, well, there's nobody daft enough, you know. But yeah, that was all sorts of different things happening.
We've also had an email apparently from the person that was standing behind you in the queue at the shop as well, and just said thank you. So... They've got a bit of a problem now, haven't they? But no, I love it. What?
I've got my orange here. Now, I'm being really scruffy with it, and there is a reason, is because I'm not trying to be good with it. I just want to create colour underneath so that when I put my 3D one on it, I'm not going to see lots of white space underneath or, you know, missing bits. So this is just a way of sort of covering up anything that you do underneath your decoupage. Got you. So I'm just doing it like that. That's not going to be finished. And you can choose now whether you want to do just a couple of colours, or you can go as mad as you want with your colours.
Are you going to do a couple of those? So I was going to just read something out to you.
Please do.
Am I getting in the way by just...
No, not at all. I'd like to hear
I just wanted to ask you this question because on my Facebook page, on social media, on Scott at Hochanda, if you give it a like, you'd make my day, because that would be you and me then that like my page then. That would be nice. But there was something I posted on there today, and it's a lovely poem. I'm not going to read it all out, but it's a lovely poem that's actually written by Helen Buckley. It's called The Little Boy. And I posted it on there this morning, and the reason why I wanted to mention this now, because I knew I had a show with you coming up today, Lou, and I thought, as an ex-teacher as you are, this would resonate with you. I'm not going to read the whole lot. I'll read just the first part of this. It says, once a little boy went to school. One morning, the teacher said, today we're going to make a picture. Good, thought the little boy. He liked to make all kinds, lions and tigers, chickens and cows, trains and boats. And he took out his box of crayons and began to draw. But the teacher said, wait, it's not time to begin. And she waited until everyone looked ready. Now, said the teacher, we're going to make flowers. Good, thought the little boy. He liked to make beautiful ones with his pink and his orange and blue crayons. But the teacher said, wait, I'll show you how. And it was a red one she drew with a green stem. There, said the teacher, you can begin. And it goes on, lots of different ways of doing all these options. And then basically, it goes on that the little boy moved to another school. A teacher went round to him and said, when the teacher came, she said, why don't you make a picture? Well, yes, said the little boy, what are you going to make? He said, I don't know until you make it, said the teacher. Well, how shall I make it? Asked the little boy. Why, any way you like, said the teacher. And any colour? Asked the little boy. Any colour, said the teacher. And he began to make a red flower with a green stem. So he basically has copied and he had ideas, and it goes on to talk about, it's a lovely poem, it goes on to talk about how the inspiration he thought he was going to, he started drawing and the teacher asked him to turn over the paper and do what she's done instead, or he's done. But he actually liked what he'd done more, but was too scared to follow his instinct. And so I put on there, you know, are we helping, are we hindering with those? And I know from a teacher's point of view, and I knew about this collection, this is not... You know, this isn't something that people are supposed to do, follow a format.
No.
And you, I think, are one of the best of sort of saying, look, go with your instinct, follow it. And this collection really does that. And I just wondered if you had a view on that from a teacher's point of view with how much do you hinder creativity? How much is it just to follow your own heart and make up your own rules? And where you stand on it as well, because I just thought it's a lovely poem, and if you read the whole of it, I've not done it justice, I've only read a couple, there's 3 pages.
I think
but
that's
when
a
you
really
read
good point.
it's a lovely sentiment behind it, and we've got a lot of young people that watch this show that are just starting out. What would you say?
Well, I think it's great, right? I was saying, you know, everybody needs the skills. So if you give anybody the skills, they can go out then to create their own. Everybody needs to know the basics, but it's not about sort of prescription. You're not one size doesn't fit all. So you need people to understand how things work and what to do with them, but then let them do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all we're doing is just copying. And that's great. But then there's copying for a reason, and that's for you to develop, not so that you become that other person. So these products help you do that. You can see me do it, Julia do it, anybody who's here today do it. But at the end of the day, we're only giving you serving suggestions. The rest of it is up to you how you do it. And that's the good thing.
What was it you mentioned earlier on? You mentioned a quote to me that he'd spent 10 years learning...
Picasso, yeah. Picasso spent 10 years learning to draw and then the rest of his life forgetting how to. Because he didn't want to. If anybody can get to see Guernica or his other drawings and stuff, you'll see how wonderful he is. But that wasn't... He wanted raw, naive drawings to sort of indicate what he wanted to show in his work without words. And you can't do that with what he felt would have been too watercolours or too much sort of fine detail. He wanted it to be raw, and that's what he did. So, you know, we all need to learn the basics to walk and then to run. But it's how you run afterwards is up to you.
Right.
I know how to run, but I certainly won't do a marathon. Do you know what I mean? It's stuff like that. So you take it, give them the basics, and then they do it as they want with it.
And
then.
learn in that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. I think generally I think that's really good advice, you know, and I'm sure there's lots, you know, when you look at something like this, there's no, and this is what I've heard from you and loads of lovely demonstrations that have happened in my time here at Hochanda, is people say there's no right or wrong.
No.
That's the one thing I think I hear unanimously across the board from all the presenters like yourself, is just go with it. And if there's nothing but wrong, but you might want to change it or adapt it, but grow with it and go with it.
It's so interesting to hear that, you know, people were almost waiting for people to say, you can do that, to get permission. Just try. I get so many people asking me, and this is good, but then I often get a bit frustrated because they'll say to me, can I do that? And half the time I just want to go, try it.
Yeah.
You know, don't ask me, try it.
Yeah.
Because, and then I know, because we're that used to saying, well, we'll wait, as the little boy did, for someone to tell us how to do it. Well, no, just try it.
No.
And I think what we do when we do that is we've taken all that wonderful development and self-belief out of them. So having this, it gives you that power back.
Have a play with it and go right. And that's, you know, original artwork only comes from people that are allowed to be original.
Absolutely.
And anybody can do that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I've done this, and there's so much going on, but there again, and I started with one idea, but now it's worked onto other ideas, and then I've got some beautiful pencils that I had on the other day that I'll go into that with much more pencil detail. But just to show you that you can go under and over. So even though I've painted that, I needed to do that so that when that flips up, I'm not seeing a big white area.
Yeah, I see.
But I'm happy, and I've not stuck them all down yet, but you can see how having that little bit of white makes it very different than on the stamp. It's very different. So I've just got that there. I think I'm going to stick that there, and I just need something a little bit dark. Don't be frightened to rip up your die cuts as well. Not the real ones, just these, because you might not want all of the stamp, might not want all of the die, you might only want a little bit, but don't be frightened to cut into it. No. So I'm just going to stick this one on here. You can actually make it a lot more three-dimensional if you want, by offsetting. Yeah. And when you offset, it appears like the petals are underneath it anyway. So I'm just going to put it in the middle, because I'd curl these, and plus that means I've cut into some of them. Plus it means I can sort of fold them over, or I can add more. I've got the die cut that's coming under and over. And now what I'm going to do is I'll just see whether this is too much. You see, that's too much for me. Now, see, that's too much. I'm just going to see now whether I just need the tiny bit on. Oh, that's what I want to show you. I cut out the XXX. When I cut out, I always tend to cut out positive and negatives in two colours with the colours I'm using, so that if I don't like that turquoisey one, I've got that one.
We've got about 3 minutes.
Whoa, right. You see that? See that edge, though? Let me put it on something to show you. That's the die cut that's left. And that is great, because to me, it represents a very similar edge. So if you've got a piece of card that you want to create a wibbly-wobbly edge, by having that on it, that's the die cut edge. These are the other two that are left from the die cut. So this is all the waste, so you can actually make your own shape. I just wanted to show you that. It's quite clever, isn't it?
Do you know, we've only got a couple of minutes left, Lou. My time always flies
do you want to go through and I'll finish this?
Well, I just want to let you know that we're approaching, this is after 52 minutes of the launch of the one-day special, and we're approaching half the stock gone.
Whoa, well, I tell you what, I promise you will not, and I can't promise you that's wrong, but you won't be disappointed, because it really is a good set. Yeah. It really is.
You say a set, there's so many pieces. We're looking at, basically, if you think about all the different ways that you can work in, you've got 67 elements broken down as 17 dies, 4 stencils, 46 stamps. Works out about £1.30 per element in all of those if you're a Freedom member for that deal, which is absolutely incredible value for money. So the machinations of how you can mix and match between all those different 46 stamps, how you can work with all those different stencils, all those lovely different dies that you can cut into and work with them, all that. You've got sort of basically a huge amounts of possibilities. And if you listen to what Lou was talking about, you know, not sort of anyone being dictated to of how you do it, you've got so much scope to experiment, to play, to just try things out and be creative, which is what it's all about, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Just about being creative. Don't forget, it is a why not offer because it works out a lower price point. Even if you pay for your subscription to become a Freedom member for 1 month, it's still a lower price, saving that money for you, than actually the actual price point you're looking at for the entire stock on a regular price point. So a really good deal for you to go for. It's all available on your 3 flexi purchases, so you can get this home from the 20th of November for just £29.05. 235 633. If you've got it already, congratulations. Whether you bought it because you were laughing so much at Lou or you're just absolutely inspired by Lou. By the way, there's a lot of love, Lou, coming through for you.
Thank you.
For I think everything you say is wise words. So you'll be back at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
With lovely Alex.
Yes. And I've got some more funny stories, but maybe that's... Oh, no, it's a shame it's not after 9.
Well, you can always say that people watch them back later on and that. Lou, always a pleasure, never a chore. You're an inspiration and we learn so much. And I know that there's going to be every show that you see Lou with your one-day special is going to be different because there is so much. When we met before the show, by the way, Lou was so excited about what was coming up. Generally, we were talking, she goes, it'll all just work. It's just lovely. Yeah. Lou, thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you very much indeed. It's been lovely to have your company for this hour. Make sure you come back and join Lou at 8 o'clock, of course. Please don't go anywhere. Just to my left is Julia, and we're going to be together for the next hour also. See you in a minute.